Alright guys, so this is a video tutorial showing trap tunnels and how to be effective with your traps. And I'm using a Ride the Lightning mission, so this will actually show you guys as well an efficient and cool build design for any Ride the Lightning mission. So you see, this is a lower level mission, but I am treating it like an at-level mission. So, you know, in a lot of cases I don't need to go this overkill that I'm going to do with the traps and maybe the build and stuff like that, but I'm going to show you it anyways. So as you can see, just go right around the outside there. And we're building up, and the reason that we end up building up so high is because we need to build that high in order to put a roof on this guy. It's always a really good idea, almost essential, to put a roof on all building defense missions. By the way, if you have a constructor in your group, the base ability goes here and it just sits there perfectly. It's always a good idea to have, almost essential to have a roof on things because of lobbers. You never know in what variants these mobs are going to spawn in. You know, sometimes it's a bunch of blasters by happenstance, and sometimes there's like a wave of a lot of lobbers. So lobbers are insanely accurate and they're annoyingly accurate. So if you don't have a roof on something, they will throw their little skulls up in the air and arc them exactly correct in order to go right in the top there. So, you know, obviously that's the reason why we have the roof on it. You'll also see me put triangles on top, and that's just an added layer of damage. You know, over time I've realized that sometimes if you get a bunch of lobbers that spawn, it's just not quite it's just not quite strong enough. And so you know, the triangles just add that extra layer on there. I alternate materials here to save on stone. This, by the way, guys, always make sure if you're doing a mutant storm mission, those are the missions that are listed with purple over them. You can do up to 10 a day to get their bonus rewards. That you'd pay attention to your active modifiers. You know, some cases they really don't make a difference for what you're doing. Other cases they do. For example, if one of the active modifiers, if this was a mutant storm, one of the active modifiers was metal corrosion, obviously don't use metal, you know, use stone. I like to use stone for a lot of my building missions anyways, regardless if it's on a city map or not. I don't know why, I just like doing that. I think it's, I don't know, I feel like it's easier to regather stone a lot of times than it is metal. So, getting a few more stone here to upgrade some of my walls, essentially. And guys, this is just one way to, you know, have a defense built for Ride the Lightning. I didn't even create this on my own. Like, as you play the game, you'll see, I thought that was just a really cool aspect as I was leveling up. Like, I used to do things one way, and then I saw this one guy one time do it this way. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. You know what I mean? Same thing with Atlas missions. There's like a standard pyramid that people usually use that I didn't find out about till, like, you know, Canny Valley or something like that. So I didn't find about this until I saw some guy use it, like, around level 50, you know, or something like that. And I used it ever since, and it's just been perfect. You know, it's a nice compact, it looks cool, it looks like a little castle, a little tower kind of thing. So I've used it ever since then. It's always down my rat, as they say. So that's pretty much the build for the Ride the Lightning thing. And now that this clip is nearing its end, I will show you what I do for my trap tunnels and my trap setup. And how I funnel mobs and things like that. So hopefully this will give you guys some good tips for it. Okay, so unfortunately I'm trying a new different upload style here so that there's no clipping and things like that. So I'm using this other app for my videos from now on. So I didn't really figure out how to record. I don't know. Basically, now I have all the traps like set up already, but whereas I wanted to show you guys how to do that. But here you can just basically see all around the base. I have all different angles covered here. So see, before I would narrate as I go, but now I'm like looking at it and then they're doing the commentary, I guess. So it's a little bit different for me. So you have to bear with me for this video here. I'll just keep in mind the other stuff for the next videos. So basically, you look around and you see sort of where they're spawning from, you know, by putting the blue glow in. I can already see ahead of time the angles. It's pretty much all over the place. So there's a spawn point here. There's a trap tunnel here. I have wall darts at the end. Good idea to put them at the end so they're hitting people, or they're hitting mobs all the way through. Okay, so that area is covered. Then this big area over here, if I turn around and show you, it's tough to, because I don't know exactly what I was doing. And okay, so this big funnel area here, you see this covers the whole side, and what this does is that it sort of funnels them in. You don't want just a whole wall, you want to go back one and then make your trap tunnel so that the mob's AI will see an obstacle. Okay, they see the wall, they see the obstacle when they spawn, and you know, it tells them, okay, do we need to bust through this, or is there a short distance that we can go to actually get to our objective, which is the van that they're trying to kill? And they say, oh, okay, you know, we don't have to bust through, we can go, you know, through here, and you just kind of whittle it smaller. So that makes it so that you don't have to make that entire big area a whole bunch of aisles of traps. You kind of just whittle them into a very small, you know, 2 wide trap tunnel. So it saves you a lot on resources just by sort of funneling them like that. So you can take a huge area like this. See all these guys that normally would have maybe just been going in, their AI tells them to just, you know, hey, there's a free pathway right here. And so that's what makes this very effective. See how I have the wall darts one back? That way, you know, if I were to block this off, they might start busting through those other wood walls on the sides because they'll see that as an obstacle. And you don't ever want to block off your trap tunnels. You want them to go through. You want them to act as like funneling systems. So that whole side is a really effective way to show you guys how to, you know, be very efficient with your traps. See that over there, that on the left there, that was a small rampway area which had a spawn point at the bottom, so it was necessary for me to put a little something right there. So you can see this funneling system is working really, really well. They all seem to be going in this little too wide area there. Something you do have to keep in mind is smashers, right? So look at this, they still haven't fixed this yet. Like if you shoot them and then they die, then they'll just kind of disappear here like that. But eventually it's like a smasher lag or something. If you weren't gonna kill him, then the leg would have caught up and he would have like zipped forward or whatever. So again, see how I did that wall, then I went back one and sort of shrunk it down, keep shrinking it. So you can take a very big area of the map and shrink it down to where, you know, they're just going into one small tunnel here. And you can see on this side, that spawn point is pretty much covered. The only spawn point that isn't really covered is up in the city, where they spawn up in the city off to the left there, a few of them, and then they'll drop down. But I do have things basically right around the van to get those guys, those stragglers. So another thing you have to watch out is, okay, so here there's a smasher right there, and basically what I'll do here is I let him break this down, kill him, and then just immediately replace the wall. I want to replace that hole though because I don't want other mobs thinking that they can get through that, and I'll upgrade it once as well. So the ones that are spawning down the city here, when they drop down, I've got wall darts right on the edge of the cliff there, so they get hit from the back. And this will be round 1. So, with ride the lightning missions and like defend or deliver the bomb missions, I usually go up and hit one of those blue glow siphons right off the bat and do one wave of that. When you do one wave of a blue glow siphon, you'll get 4 blue glow, and you'll get a little reward out of it. Sometimes they're actually worth doing. You know, you'll get a couple hundred stone or metal or wood, and so it's a good idea to do those for the lightning missions and deliver the bomb, because you get all the blue glow you need right off the bat. You don't have to worry about running around collecting it. Another really good tip here, guys, is for basically being able to create bulk traps, is if you looked at my best guns and traps video, one thing I kind of failed to mention with traps is the way that you should like upgrade them. So for example, I have different traps. I have some traps that are different levels of upgrade than the rest. So some I 4-starred and some I 3-starred. And the reason why you do that is sometimes you'll, and I don't know if even upper level players do this that much or know about this, or like, I mean, I would say they know about this, but maybe really didn't think to do this, is like my retractable floor spikes are at 3 stars. They're still an effective trap, very effective trap for the content that I'm doing, right? But when I leave them at 3 stars instead of 4 stars, they only require fine grain mineral powder instead of char black mineral powder, or whatever the, you know, tier 3 material is. So you have different traps that are sort of, they have a variety of what's required for the material. So you don't have like all 4 or 5 of your traps needing char black mineral powder, because you'll always be like really low on that, you know what I mean, unless you go and you stockpile it really big and stuff like that. But I chose to leave some at 3 stars because when I'm doing mixtures of missions, like sometimes I dip down at the canny, or sometimes I do level 70 missions and I'll get fine grain and stuff like that, depending on, you know, rewards, and if I need raindrops from lower level missions and stuff like that. So I'll have like a consistent amount, a good mix of char black mineral powder and fine grain, and this way I can make bulk traps in bulk a lot easier, because they require lower level materials, so they don't all require sleek and they don't all require char black. You know, they require a mix, and I usually have a good mix with that amount. So that's why I keep traps at different levels sometimes. So this smasher was going to go through and make a hole here, and got rid of him. So that's pretty much the only thing I'm worried about. Another big thing, guys, because I think I'm running out of time here, so I want to make this quick, is that with propane guys, with sploders, okay, keep this in mind. This is very, very essential, okay? If they die to your traps, they will not explode their tanks, okay? If they die to your traps, they will not explode their tanks. So that's why you want your trap tunnels to be effective, so that your propane guys will die inside of the traps, and therefore their propane tanks won't go off. Now, sometimes you'll have the thing where, like, if I did this in a non-private privacy setting, and I had like some random kids join, I guarantee you they'd be screwing stuff up all over the place. It's almost easier for me to do it just solo for the tutorial here, because
30 seconds left to go.
if your traps are too effective, sometimes like kids are so ADD and they want to kill stuff, so they'll go out in the trap tunnels and sit there and like shoot stuff, or they'll go out there. And the problem with that is the propane guys, if they spawn, they'll only throw their tank if they're close to what they're trying to destroy, like the van, or close to you. You know what I mean? So if they were inside the trap tunnels and shooting at mobs and a propane guy spawned, it doesn't matter if they killed him or not, he's still going to throw his tank. And the problem is he throws his tank inside the trap tunnel and it destroys all your traps, and it's really annoying. So once you get up to like Canny and Twine Peaks area, people know not to mess around in the trap tunnels, or they'll know to shoot propane guys in the gut. If you shoot him in the stomach to kill him instead of like, you know, the tank, then obviously they won't explode. So anyways, hope this helped you guys, and we'll see you next time.